Doctor, what are some of the things we need to think about as this winter approaches? You know, we're going into the months of November, December, January. It's going to get colder. You know, we know flu season's coming up as well. What do people need to be aware of, again, if they're of the age group or if they have parents or grandparents in that age group?
The standard things that everyone's talked about already: keeping warm, keeping moving, keeping company, making sure there's food in the house and things like that. There's one very specific thing though, and that's the flu vaccine. It doesn't protect against COVID, but there is a lot of evidence that having both together is a pretty deadly mixture. And we are very keen in Age UK London to encourage older Londoners, to make sure that they get their flu vaccine.
Okay.
Not easy, because it may mean going out of the house. I've seen pictures of tents in car parks and all sorts of things to try and move people through. It's difficult, and everyone's struggling. GPs are, Age UKs are, mutual aids are. Lots of people are working on this, how to get older people to have their flu jab. But I also, if I may, want to take an opportunity to myth bust about the risks of flu vaccine, which are really very, very low indeed, and the risks of not having flu vaccine, particularly for those older Londoners who are going out. You really don't want to get both together. There's a chance, and we know from back in March, a few people across the country did get both together, and the mortality rate doubled. On the other hand, we know that in Australia, they mobilised really well in their winter through March, April, May, June, and they got 70% of their older citizens to have the flu jab, and the number of cases of influenza dropped by over 90%. Less than a tenth of Australians got the flu in their last winter than they did the winter before. So we know it can be done, and we know it will save lives and also protect our health service. I mean, we all saw the pictures of the hospitals in the at the height of the pandemic, and the heroic struggles that my hospital colleagues were making, and we just don't want that again. Please, we don't want that again. So there's a general point about helping the health service, but there's a specific point about helping ourselves.
Yeah.
Some people do get a reaction. I think it gets less and less the more that you have, which is, I'm saying, please have one every year. Because I was a frontline health worker, I started having flu jabs years ago. I can't actually remember the first time I had one. And I remember having reactions then. I thought, I was going down with flu. And then I realized, of course, it was 4 days since I'd had the jab. But now I have the jab and I don't even notice. So please, unless you're allergic, and you know you're allergic to it, please have the jab.